you upgrade your fuel pump with the last turbo?
I bet you it's stock still.
Okay, we'll probably need to upgrade the fuel pump and add a returnable system, right?
Right.
The stock these only have a one-way fuel system.
Yeah, it's just a single returnless system, but it only supports about 490 horse, so if you're right around 500, and that's at the crank as opposed to the wheels. Do you recall which injectors that you modified it with?
I don't know the brand. I think they're 1,000 cc's, but I could be totally off. I got to look at my paperwork. The problem we had is when it was taking methanol injection, they put it on the dyno and it was backfiring. And he researched it and found out it was an injector problem. And that's when it was actually the dude at Squires that did it. I'm trying to think of the dude's name.
What did it dyno, out of curiosity?
We got 417 rear wheel with a stock motor and everything set up, so pretty good. But that was that day, that dyno, and I wasn't there, so.
You recall what PSI you had to set at?
I have a low and a high boost rocker switch, and that was high boost. So rocking it forward is high boost, rocking it rear is low boost. And I would like to keep that. I like the simplicity of the system. So just go high to low. I don't need to be software tuning it.
Right.
With the methanol injection, I like that. And it's just running off windshield wiper fluid.
No, so definitely.
All that should be hooked up still.
Which it is. I was under the hood just kind of looking at that. It's just a lot of the Cosworth internals and stuff like that I'm looking at that are going to make it just last longer, especially under like high power if you're drifting, stuff like that.
I love what you're thinking.
Yeah, so just insurance. So basically,
that's
it's one of the builds that I'm copying for guys that do, in fact, drift these cars on a regular basis.
Right.
You don't have any idea like what boost numbers are actually at, though, what PSI?
It was pretty low because the motor's high compression.
Right.
And I'm kind of thinking, what do you think, Ryan, that we go with the same type of motor build? Because with this STS system, it's kind of inefficient. It builds boost really slow. And so if you have a, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you have a low compression motor, you're going to be doing nothing until you come into boost. I'm not going to have any bottom end, so I'd really like to have it the way it was, just more rock solid. I mean, built. And also, I noticed when I would get under boost, and TMPers were giving you an update on Killer, the 350Z. I'll talk about some specifics here. There's Ryan Courtright. We're at his shop. Stalwart mechanic, friend of TMP, long time, and this is Nick, his mechanic, totally doing a great job helping me out with Killer. But when I would get under high boost, I would smell oil every time, like burnt oil. And I asked Ryan or Rick Squires about it, and I never got an answer about it. So when we do the autopsy on this thing and find out why it died, I'm thinking oil starvation. That's just like something that it felt to me like when it died in California, it felt like it was oil starved. I checked everything, the oil level was good. It just seemed like a blockage or something.
Yeah, it's one of the issues that Grand National boys run into at higher boost levels. It's just excessive blow bind in the crankcase, which causes the oil to be deposited externally in the motor.
Okay.
They're talking about what's that?
Basically blowing out of it.
Yeah, so they're essentially talking about adding a vacuum pump to the crankcase itself under higher boost to take care of that sort of thing.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, kind of depending, well, obviously we have to get the motor apart, do an autopsy, see what the block looks like, check the condition of the bearings, etc. But that's also one of the approaches I was looking at, WPC coatings. So it adds a 20-25% more strength to the bearings, etc. for this type of application, so you have to worry about that in the future.
Cool.
As well as Cosworth makes a one-way oil pan baffle to prevent starvation when you're drifting going around corners and whatnot.
Right.
As it's somewhat of a known issue with it.
I like that because I wouldn't say I'm going to drift this car, but I will take it under high Gs. Maybe I track it. That will be very limited if I do it. But taking a high merge under some G, totally doable. I do that all the time.
Which they're saying for the price of cheap insurance. We're going to be there anyways.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just
absolutely.
So that's kind of the direction I've gone. Most of these guys are running right around 15 PSI of boost. You're probably right over 500 horse, somewhere in the neighborhood of there. But yeah, for drifting, and they're just saying it lasts. I mean, that's kind of the direction I'm going. It's just something bulletproof.
I think that sounds right from past discussions with the guys.
Okay.
We had to keep the boost lowers level on the stock motor for safety.
Right.
But now that we're building the motor, putting in, forced everything, that number sounds right.
And I do have a couple of different directions to go piston-wise, what they have recommended. Again, that just kind of depends on with the compression. Again, like you're saying, most of the time they are dropping that number just to accommodate for the forced induction. So that's definitely something we'll have to look into, is trying to keep your boost lag down.
Right.
While still protecting the motor so we can produce the horsepower levels in.
you and I are on the same sheet of music.
So
You like this guy, don't
Yes,
you?
I do.
He is on it, dude. I don't know where you found him, but he's on it.
He's on it.
He's on it.
Bond.
Say hello to the Nut and Fancy Project, Nick.
what's going on, boys and girls?
So what we're gonna do is follow Ryan and Nick as they bring Killer back to life. It is in his shop now, and it was a nightmare bringing it back from California. If you want to come by and pay your condolences to Killer, the address is at the top, Ryan Courtright, and he still offers a TMP discount for auto work.
I sure do.
So he does great auto work. Come check it out. Killer's in here, and Nick's working on it. So we're gonna, we're just gonna pull everything apart and see what's going on. I did contact Rick Squires about it. Honestly, seemed too busy to help. Bummer.
Yeah.
Seemed too busy to help. So.
And sometimes depending on the amount of projects you've got going on.
Yeah.
If you could just find your original build sheet, if you got any numbers, anything like that, that'd
Okay.
be fantastic. And we start to make sure all of our numbers match, everything's matching up just to make sure you have as solid a build as possible.
Okay, I will do my best dredging that paperwork up. I know I have it somewhere.
Okay.
And then it's interesting because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, if we can just bring the motor back, let's just say in a perfect world,
Sure.
we just fix the motor, we don't do anything with the turbo, and it was at spec, it would be running just like it was before.
Yeah.
At least until the same problem cropped up.
Correct. That's what you have to figure out is what happened in the first place. What was the event? What took place when it finally failed?
The sequence of events when it blew out went like this. I was racing a Carrera S,
Okay.
a brand new one,
Okay.
on Highway 35 in California, and we were getting on it, and so I was hitting boost hard, and a bunch of dust blew out the back. I pulled it off on the PCH, and the catalytic converter either centered or just went bye-bye. I drove it a while after that, and then problems started happening. It started running a little bit rough, but it was really hard to tell if it was a cat problem or it was a motor problem. And that's the problem I had. And I couldn't find a shop that would even look at it out there. California's so weird.
Right.
And they're just weird. And as far as finding good shops that will take care of a car like this.
Right.
When they see it lowered and tricked out, they're like, oh, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, it's usually only a handful.
A handful.
The rest are going to find that want to take the project on. So.
I'm not sure if it had something to do with the cat. And it was very hard to tell. It was running rough after the cat went out, and that's one reason why I think it masked this other problem, perhaps.
I could certainly see it where more than likely being upstream, the cat material is going to be coming down the pipe, going through the turbo.
Right?
Right, so we're causing issues that way, especially if the bushings inside the turbo start going bad, the shafts start developing play and sending a lot of metal upstream.
Would it ever get to the motor that way?
Yes.
That could very well be it.
There is a distinct possibility. I'm not saying that's, hands down.
You'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot more plumbing on this, obviously, than most other turbo designs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
the
we
rear
have-
mount, you got that freaking pipe running all the way to the bottom. I have the side skirts pulled off because, it's impossible to work on the car with them, basically. It makes it really tough for the guys.
No, it's definitely appreciated as we can't really get it on lifts or jacks underneath with
Yeah.
the skirts on without damaging those. So
If I put them back on, I want to make them quick release with like Zeus fasteners would be perfect.
that'd be nice.
Okay, so TMPers, there's your update, Killer. I did not have a realistic bid come in for Killer to sell it. I don't blame anyone for that. It is a project and it's going to cost money. Things cost money,
Yeah,
Ryan.
you gotta pay to play.
It's
You gotta pay to play.
cost
especially if
money.
you
I didn't
play
want to
with lots
spend
of
money on
horsepower.
this either, but I'm not going to part it out. I don't have time or interest to do that, and I'm not going to throw it in the junkyard.
Right.
It's too cool of a car.
So it's fun to have a toy for the weekends, especially a little bit of spare time. Could be something.
So this is Ryan Courtright. This is Killer. So sad to see him like this. But what will be super cool is if we bring him back.
Oh, it'll be better than ever.
Better than ever, bring him back, and then guys in TMP will dig it. And it looked like it was going to be destroyed, never to be brought back again, and then it lives.
You're gonna need to stock up on
good
these
story.
rear tires.
Those are my Proxys. Those are not my race tires. Those are my street tires, actually, and those are the stock rims, powder coated in Spanish gold. So
We'll take care of that stock set of tires for you.
those things are expensive, man. You burn through those tires, you're going through some money.
Gotta pay to play, brother.
How's your shoulder?
It's getting better.
Okay, Ryan had kind of a shoulder injury. Take it easy.
Oh, I will.
All right. So stop by, say hello to Ryan, and take a picture with a beat up 350Z. Over and out. See ya.